Welcome to the MLM Marketing Solutions video. My name is Gubuan, and I'm going to talk to you about the top 5 MLM problems and the answers to those 5 MLM problems. Let's take a look at problem number 1, cash flow. Everybody falls in love with the idea of champagne wishes and caviar dreams, the lifestyles of the rich and famous, the cars, the mansions, and the increasing bundles of cash that you're going to have after you see your dreams come true. The idea of being a virtual millionaire sucks us all in. You have an individual that has zero debt and a passive or near passive income of at least $60,000 a year. For example, if you had $2 million in the bank earning 6% interest, you would have $120,000 of yearly income. This income is known as passive income. It is called passive income because you weren't active in the production of this income. In other words, you did not work to get it. Yes, you worked to save the $2 million, but the income from the $2 million keeps coming in without the work. So after 2 years of hard work, your upline, the recruits you, says if you keep busy and you stay in on this ground floor opportunity, you're going to see cash, money, all the way to the bank. So you start to recruit everybody that you know. You think about that and you're like, I'm going to be like Uncle Sam and everybody's coming into this business, not taking no for an answer. So let's fast forward 30 days. Your friends think you're crazy. Your family members want to see you succeed, so you sign up your mom. You take a look at their CDs and DVDs, you get some of those. You see your company's pamphlets and flyers, you get some of those. You see the company's replicated website, they give you one of those, and you're like, alright, well, I'm all set. All I gotta do is haul this stuff off to the post office. I'll send about 100 of those out. Suddenly you realize, wait a second, nobody's signed up with me. I just spent a ton of cash. So 60 days later, you realize that all of the money that you put down the toilet, suddenly you have a garage full of stuff that you have no idea what you're going to do with, and now you don't know what you're going to do with the bills that you thought you're going to be able to pay off. Because they said all you got to do is talk to 5 people. Talk to 5 people. Just tell 5 people. It's fine. It's easy. And now you've got more bills than you began with. But you tell everybody that you're not a quitter and that you will succeed. And your upline is motivating you and you feel confident that you can succeed. So you take about 200 of those flyers and pamphlets and you haul them off to the post office and you send them out. Well, crap, 90 days later, you got a pocket full of lint and now your MLM career is over. You didn't have enough cash flow. Well, don't fret, because in the next couple of videos, I'm going to tell you exactly how to combat the problem that you will have with cash flow in your MLM business, and exactly step by step what you need to do in order to succeed. So let's take a look at problem number 2, the lack of leads. So let's just take a little journey through the steps of a marketer who doesn't have leads. So you got all hyped up from the opportunity meeting. Your palms are sweaty, you feel flushed, and you reach for your credit card and you say emphatically, "Sign me up!" You're sitting in Planet Hype, you're all hyped up, you're ready to go, you want to succeed, so you say, "Sign me up." You want to get going, right? So in the first 30 days you call your parents, you call your siblings, heck, you even call your ex-girlfriends. Okay, so maybe you don't do that, but maybe you go as far as calling old high school buddies, co-workers, pizza delivery drivers, and even that weird guy in the elevator, right? You talk to literally everybody because that's what they tell you to do. Suddenly the reality sets in and you've talked to everybody you know. Seriously, everyone. So who are you going to talk to now? You start looking back to that first meeting and you think to yourself, what the heck? All these had said I had to do was talk to 5 people. Well, I've talked to at least 50. I should be filthy rich, right? So now what? Well, you sit and you remember that in that last Super Saturday meeting where they sold you a bunch of awesome flyers that explain the opportunity and the tear sheets and the DVDs that show the comp plan, you think, oh yeah, duh. I just need to pass out 100 of those and I'll start building in no time. Right? The cash flow problem here, people. So now, this is you. You were feeling defeated, rejected, and angry, and you don't really know what to do next. You think to yourself, it would best be so easy if people would just call me and contact me about making money. And suddenly you realize you've thrown more cash down the drain because you have no leads that converted into sales. That lack of leads is your problem number 2. So let's take a look at problem number 3. Attrition. Let's get this straight right now. People are going to quit and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't teach a positive attitude. Look at these folks. They are happy singing in the rain. You can't teach that. That's in every fiber of their being. They love life. Yeah, it sucks, but you've got to get your ear to the street or else you're going to get left behind. And what I mean by that is that a lot of you are in the health and wellness or technology MLMs. Heck, that's pretty much all there is these days. You need to think about this. What makes your team better than any other team? You. You make the difference. You are the person that makes a difference in your team. Attitude is everything. You need the right attitude. You need a positive attitude. You need the right mentality. You need to see yourself in ways that other people don't see you in order to become who you want to become. You need to learn new skill sets. You need to go to the library. You need to study the best of the best. You need to be the best. You need to be everything that you can in order to succeed. You need to bring value to the community. You need to help out your team and become somebody that can lead them, that's learning the skills that they don't know yet, and that you can train them so they can walk in your footsteps. So how do you really combat attrition? Well, I want you to remember this concept, the law of the first win. Celebrate each success as they occur. So the first time somebody gets a lead, you celebrate that. You let them know that that lead that you've just generated can now be replicated forever. You can do this. You can create leads no matter what now. You need to take that lead and you need to help them get to 10 leads. And once they get to 10 leads, then suddenly you can celebrate that they got 10 leads. And if they do that activity 10 more times, they're gonna get 100 leads. Okay? And you keep celebrating the firsts, the first sign up, the first quitter, the first heavy hitter. And once they get to the first heavy hitter they recruit, well heck, you gotta celebrate the fact that they got that heavy hitter and that they can attract more heavy hitters. Why? Because they need to celebrate. You're gonna have to celebrate the fact that that first heavy hitter might actually quit. And you need to celebrate that the first time a heavy hitter doesn't quit. That way, these people are continually making progress. They feel like they're taking a step forward. Even though they might not be making money in the beginning, they need to know that they're progressing and that they're succeeding in some way. Because people like to go to places where they're appreciated, championed, uplifted, part of a team or community, and feel like they are getting motivated to be successful. So let's take a look at problem number 4, duplication. So let's just say that you've actually figured out how to get leads and to make some cash up front. And now, you've done a fantastic job recruiting and training. Or at least you thought you were doing a great job training, right? So you've dealt with the issues of cash flow, lead flow, attrition, and now you have the keys to success, right? So what gives? Why the heck is your team not duplicating? You've told them exactly what you did. Why aren't they duplicating? You have given them the template of you exactly, and they aren't doing jack squat because they're watching what you're doing and they're doing that. Because if you suddenly feel like you need to stop recruiting and signing people up and putting everything on autopilot, well, that's exactly what they're going to do. And if you want that kind of duplication, then they're gonna do that exactly the same way. So you've got to lead by example. You need to do the things that are important to the team as a series of people. Each individual needs to put in a specific amount of effort in order for your team to start succeeding. You need to teach them the law of the first win, and they need to accept that law. You've got to take things to the next level, which means if you start to sign up people every single day, you need to make sure that your highest leaders are signing people up at every single day, and that specific activity is duplicated over and over and over again. You need to create the expectation of what's going to happen next. People need to understand that once they get to level A, they have to go to level B and level C and level D and so on. The expectation is that they continue to do personal development. You've got to give them the same resources that you studied to get to where you're at. You want to make them duplicate, right? So doesn't it make sense that they follow the exact same path that you took as closely as possible? Give back. Give them a helping hand. Give them the books, the websites, the training, and the advice. Whatever it was that made you successful, give that to them. So recall from the attrition problem. People like to go to places where they're appreciated, championed, uplifted, part of a team or community, motivated, and frankly feel all warm and fuzzy inside. So what you need to do is you need to get people excited for each other's success. There's a simple analogy that's called the campfire analogy. What you want to do is you want to celebrate success in stages. You start with the small successes, and you start within your own team. And when you start to see duplication, you suddenly build that success higher and higher and higher until you have a roaring fire. So let's start with the kindling. The kindling is really when you host a webinar where you celebrate a leader's success. Maybe they sign up 3 people in 1 week. You bring them on and you celebrate that success, and you talk to the team and everybody about how they did that, so that everybody can get excited at the same time and they can see, okay, this person can get 3 people. Well, when you get more and more of those successes, what you can do is you can take those new recruits and you celebrate the same things with their recruits. So their 3 people, they celebrate 3 recruits from that. And then you start to throw the smaller logs onto the fire. So let's just say you have a leader that generated 100 leads. And with that 100 leads, they made $1,000. Well, you want to throw those small logs onto the fire. And when you start to celebrate people making money in your business and in your downline, suddenly people are going to be attracted to that. They're going to see that yes, there is duplication and there is success in the team. So then, after that, you throw the large logs onto the fire. And when you see the large logs onto the fire, you see that you are actually celebrating the duplication of yourself. Because once you have leaders several levels down that are duplicating your success, you bring them onto a webinar and you champion them and you hold them high and you put them on a pedestal and you show your team exactly what is capable if they follow your training and your steps and your templates, so that you actually can see that success grow like nothing before. And I guarantee you, you will start to see absolute crazy success.